Hi guys, this is I'm Stuck, and today we are looking at the civil rights movement and the different ways of protesting. So the initial phase of the civil rights movement was in 1955, when Rosa Parks of Montgomery, Alabama refused to give up her seat. When she was sent to jail, it sparked the bus boycott, which was led by Martin Luther King, who was obviously a big leader in those days. The bus boycott lasted more than a year, showing the determination of the black residents, and on the 5th of December 1955, 90% of black residents stayed off the buses. So that's obviously a big turnout, seeing as buses were obviously a big part. And this is basically where lots of black people decided not to go on buses to prove a point. This obviously meant that the buses went out of business, meaning they had to allow black people to go on the white people buses. So the direct result of this was making the segregation of buses illegal, and this was one of the first stages of the civil rights movement. Then on May the 4th, 1961, a group of 13 African American and white civil rights activists launched the Freedom Rides. So this is interesting because it's the first time really where some white people also joined in and noticed that black people were being unfairly treated in America. And so these were the Freedom Rides were a series of bus trips through America to protest segregation in interstate bus terminals. The idea was basically to test the Supreme Court. Obviously, many states in the South did not abide with the rules created by the Supreme Court, where segregation in buses was illegal. Obviously, the South was the part in the civil rights movement which was more racist than the North, and these are where most of the problems had. But the Freedom Riders, who were recruited by the Congress of Racial Equality, which is CORE, they departed from Washington, D.C., right in the north, and attempted to integrate facilities at bus terminals along the way into New Orleans. So these people also tried to use only white toilets, and the white people only used black toilets. However, they did receive tremendous violence from white protesters. However, did also receive lots of received lots of attention to their case. And over the next few months, several hundred Freedom Riders did these similar actions. Then ultimately they didn't make it to New Orleans, but they did gain a large amount of publicity. And in September, the Interstate Commission introduced a ruling that it was much tighter and less open to interpretation. This came into force on November 1st, 1961. So this was a big part of the civil rights movement, where finally white people as well were protesting against mainly the South to show that the hardships that black people were going through. Now, the final way of protesting that I have here is the sit-ins. And this was where students sat in white people's restaurant and asked to be served. These were black students, and then when the waiter or waitress refused, they would simply sit down and refuse to move. Obviously, a big part where they just obviously that's illegal and you wouldn't be allowed to do it. And it started in February 1960 when 4 black students did this. They asked for a coffee and a lunch counter. And then this is where the service refused. The students just sat patiently. So obviously the police then came to arrest because they arrested black students because this was actually illegal. But when so many people were doing it, it was hard to arrest everyone. And basically, when some were arrested, some more black people just came in to take the seats which they had gone off on. So before the end of the school year, over 1,500 protesters were arrested. However, obviously, it's a bit of a pain for restaurants to have to keep on getting the police to arrest these black people. So restaurants in the South began to abandon their segregation policies because it was easier for them, and some people will obviously think it was right. So those were the main 3 ways of the civil rights movement, which is ultimately has mostly happened, really. Civil rights has mostly been achieved, obviously not fully. However, thanks for watching, and please subscribe to my channel and give this video a like. So thank you, and see you soon. Bye.